everyone, welcome back to another 2v2 battle. I am bringing Belegar Ironhammer with his clan, and Cyril is bringing the Empire. We are facing off against Greenskins and the Vampire Counts. For my army, I have King Lund Ironhammer up here as the Ethereal Thane. We have the Ethereal Runesmith. I also have the Grumbling Guards, of course. Frontline, 2 Dwarf Warriors, one of which is the Warriors Dragonfire Pass, and then another one on the flank. Peak Gate Guard, which I thought was my Ironbreaker unit, and my Ironbreaker unit, who I thought was my Peak Gate Guard for, I don't know, some reason. 2 Rangers with great weapons. We have 4 Miners in total protecting the back, and then I have the Dragonback Slayers here. Cyril's army, 2 Spearmen, the Sigmar Sons, the Flagellants, including the Tattered Souls, 2 Crossbows, 2 Great Swords, Sterling's Revenge, and the Silver Bullets, a Flying General, Flying Bright Wizard, and then also an Empire Captain. For the Greenskins here, we have a Doomdiver Catapult, which you can see is launching some crazy gobos at this point. We also have the 8 Peak Loonies right here, and then the Warlords Boys, so those are the units of renown. We have the Broken Tusk Mob, a group of Squig Herds. We have 3 Orc Biggins, an Arachnarok Shaman, 2 Goblin Big Bosses, the Night Goblin War Boss, 2 Black Orcs, the other Biggin group over there, and then the Durusty Arrow over here. We also have 2 Goblin Wolf Riders, and then also the Wolf Howlers, which are the Fear Wolf Riders. Then for the Vampire Count, these are all Graveguard of varying types. I think it's like half and half. 3 of them are Great Swords, 3 of them are normal. They're being led by Vlad von Karstein, 2 Cryptors, 1 Felbat, 2 Vargeist, and a Terrorgeist, and then a Hex Wraith. So you can look at the allied troop count here. We have them outnumbered. Probably because they devoted a lot to Graveguard over here. And like no skeletons or zombies whatsoever. So immediately looking at their deployment, we decided that we were going to try and hit the Greenskin player first. I have already set my sights for the Rangers with great weapons on this Arachnarok as they tear them down pretty quickly. And again, for some reason, I thought these were the Ironbreakers. That's why I have the Ironbreakers in the second rank, because those are supposed to be my PK guard. I must have been like on drugs or something, but not really, because I don't even do drugs. I don't know. It was weird. So we are going to just bring our slow advance up here to, against the Greenskins. The Vampire Count is going to wrap around the flanks, and they are eventually going to come at us, I believe, like this is what they're going to be doing. But all I'm concerned about is going straight. Over here, the Bright Wizard, Bright Wizard is going to be casting a Fireball spell on the Orc Shaman. Going to do some decent damage. The Fireball does do really good damage to unarmored unit types. Armored unit types, I believe, can deflect almost all the damage of a Fireball, though, so you gotta be careful about that. Cyril's army is coming up as well, but eventually, as the Vampire Counts get closer, he's actually going to direct his army back around behind me and deal with the Vampire Counts. But Belegar has his sights set on these Greenskins.
If you insist.
Another wave of Goblin Doomdiver Catapults. I think the Bright Wizard is coming in for another Fireball against the Orc Shaman. I think. And you can see my PK guard is taking a lot of damage, and I was like, huh, that's weird. How the hell are my Ironbreakers taking a lot of damage? And it was around this time when I kind of realized that these were the PK guard and the Ironbreakers are over here. But I was like, well, we've come this far. Holy shit, that damage. So we're just going to charge them with the Warriors Dragonfire Pass, Dwarf Warriors, and the PK are going to go up the middle. I have King Lund Ironhammer taking the charge of the Orc Biggins. You see Thorny Ironbrow putting their buffs down, and Cyril, I believe, should start marching over here. You can see the Cryptors are coming with Vlad von Karstein, the Grave Guard as well, and then the Flyers and X-Rays are getting it behind us. The Arachnarok comes into range of our Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, so we're going to start pelting them with the arrows. I'm sorry, with the throwing axes. Now I'm throwing in my Ironbreakers behind my PK guard, which is opposite of what you should do. The Grumbling Guard are going to back up the Warriors Dragonfire Pass and apply their bigger buff around. And then I'm going to apply or send my 4 Miners into a defensive formation like this to assist Cyril in fighting against the Vampire Counts. And you can see already the Arachnarok Queen, I'm sorry, just the Arachnarok Spider, not the Queen, is already nearly dead due to all of these throwing axes. Like, it is insane how much of a counter these are against Greenskins, which is exactly why I bring them. Over here, some Dwarf Warriors getting into some Squigs and the Warlords Boys, also some Orc Biggins as well. I think I reinforced them with this one group of Miners, I think. Meanwhile, my Rangers with great weapons after dealing with the Arachnarok Queen, or again, Arachnarok Spider, I'm so used to seeing the Queen, are going to devote their attention over to these Graveguard with great weapons. My Miners are going to hold the line for a long time, considering how much armor piercing is here. And Surreal's forces are going to be marching over here to assist me with the vampire count. And then the Hex Race are going to be coming in behind along with the Fell Bats, going after Surreal's flying units. And you can also see the Goblin Wolf Riders, Wolf Howlers, and the Broken Tusker getting behind as well. And I'm leaving this all to Surreal to deal with, so we will get into that part of the battle here soonish. My Peak Gate Guard are still alive, barely. All you need is one model to apply their Sundering anti-armor abilities, so that's okay. My Norgrim's Iron Breakers are going to come over here and try and beat off the Orc Biggins and the Rusty Arrows along with these Night Goblins as well. You can see they're doing a really good job at surrounding my Dwarf Warriors, but with the Iron Breakers here, I believe that flank can hold. My Miners are starting to falter, but luckily the Empire is coming in with their infantry here to back me up. My Rangers with great weapons doing a lot of damage to the Graveguard over here. And over here we have Belegar Iron Hammer along with King Lun just trying to defend this corner against the remains of the Greenskins that lie over here and all of these Graveguard that are trying to get through our Miners. Now over here the two Goblin Big Bosses and the Night Goblin War Boss is going to get on to Belegar. And I didn't realize at this time that he had no units around him because I thought I threw a miner group over there, but I did not. So he's actually going to take a pretty big beating over here. There we go. I thought the Grumbling Guard were over here, and they were, but they were not in a great number. Rangers with great weapons are now almost out of ammunition, but they have dealt a lot of damage to the Graveguard with great weapons and the Cryptors. And again, the Warriors Dragonfire Pass holding off this one Goblin Big Boss and these Orc Biggins doing a really good job at that, but these Miners are starting to crumble. So I'm going to be having to throw Throny Iron Brow into here soon-ish. Belegar Iron Hammer is tanking a lot in here, considering he is by himself. I have applied his buffs, but he is eventually going to start to crumble under the weight of the Biggins and the Night Goblin War Boss and the Goblin Big Boss. Meanwhile, over here, we are our PK guard is starting to shatter against the just heavy losses that they've incurred against all of these Orc Biggins and the Night Goblins. But the Norgrim's Iron Breakers are going to be able to hold this line with no problem. It's kind of why I left them here, to hold all these units at bay. You can see this Terror guy's coming in, being chased. I wonder what happened to that thing. But anyway, over here you can see Belegar held out a long time, a very long time. But he is going to be routed off, and he's going to route off in this direction. My Dwarf Warriors here were chasing the Orc Biggins, so I assigned them to attack the Doomdriver Catapult as well to try and shut them down, even though they fired most of their ammunition. Throny here is going to hold off this Graveguard with great weapons by himself because he's an ethereal badass, and that's what he does if there's no magic damage present. My Rangers with great weapons are now out of ammunition, so I'm going to try and hold these Graveguard in place. Meanwhile, over here, Surreal's part of his infantry is going to be dealing with some Black Orcs along with Vlad von Karstein, the remnants of his Graveguard, and the Cryptors who are still alive. You can see he's getting rear charged by the Hex Race. Luckily enough, the Flagellants are going to be able to hold the line, but they are way outclassed over there. I am bringing in some reinforcements with Miners that have been freed up to get into these Graveguard, and I'm trying to form a line right here because, well, these forces are kind of crushed at the moment, although you can see he is pulling in some greatswords and some more Tatterswords are coming over here to assist as well. The crossbows over here, I am leaving this Ranger with great weapon to protect them in case something gets by, because I want them to continue to fire without having any problems. The Graveguard try to leave the battle with Throny because they realize what's going on. They're being held up together by just one person, so I'm like, nah, F that. I'm going to charge them into the Graveguard again. You can see the Grumbling Guard, what remains to them, along with our Warriors Dragonfire Pass, are going to withdraw because they have kind of extended out here. Belegar Iron Hammer came back from routing, so I'm going to bring him back over here. And I believe I form a new line like this to connect with our Norgrim's Iron Breakers, who have been slowly just destroying all these Night Goblins over here. And there we go. We are now re-engaging against these Orc Biggins. The Graveguard are coming in. Throny Ironbrow is starting to make these Graveguard crumble. And then over here, the Greatsword that was thrown in here to protect the one group of Flagellants is actually doing pretty well against all these Black Orcs, Graveguard, and Vlad von Karstein. You can see the second Black Orc group had detached from this battle and is now over here fighting with my Dragonback Slayers. I threw them in here because the Black Orcs were on their way to try and take out, I believe it was either this group or this group. So I just threw these Dragonback Slayers in there just to stall them. And you can see I'm throwing in our Rangers to try to do the same thing, because you can see they're trying to punch through and stop these crossbowmen. So we're going to smash into them from both sides and say no to that. The Iron Breakers are finally about to finish off these Night Goblins. Belegar's coming back. The Dwarven Warriors, along with these Miners, finally finished off the Goblin Doomdriver Catapult. So they are going to be coming back and assisting the remnants of the PK Guard, of which there's only 9 models left. And then Throny Ironbrow, who's supporting also them, and the Grumbling Guard, who is still over here dealing with this one group of Graveguard. Miners, who are holding to the very inner steel, are dealing off with this Graveguard. And the Great Swordsmen over here are starting to rout, but they did hold off a large group of the enemy for a long time. And the Knights of Blazing Suns came in here as well. And let's actually pause it right here, because we were not really seeing what was happening in the backfield with Surreal and all those flying units and everything. So we're going to pause it here and see what happened on his side of the battlefield, and then the rest of what's about to happen. Right now, it's a pretty close game. Here you can see the Greenskin players marching all of their combined mobile might, which is a lot. They're moving them around the flanks to try and get into the squishier bits like these silver bullets. You see the squids are actually going to make it in there. And here come the flying units from the Vampire Council along with the Hex Race that are trying to close in this noose. And they have kind of almost a total surround here if you consider all their flying units. So immediately seeing the flying units coming from behind and seeing all these mobile units coming from behind, you can see these nice Blatant Sun are actually kind of engaged against Hex Race, against the Orc Boy Biggins. The Far Guys are coming in, all of the Wolf Riders are coming in. So I'm going to be pulling back our Dragonback Slayers to contend or try to help Surreal in this fight. You can see the crossbows are just putting a beating on the Var Guys. It's hard to actually see the health bar here, but they're dealing some damage to the Fellbats, the Var Guys, and they are engaged just as kind of crazy. I'm going to get rid of all these banners. A lot of Var Guys here. Trying to take out the General of the Empire along with, I believe, the Empire Captain maybe buried in there. No, he's actually off to the side. These Fellbats are going to land, but they have already taken too much damage from the crossbows, so they are going to be routed off. You can see the melee fight over here, which I shown a little earlier. But yeah, so the Terra guys, all the Var guys are going to come over here. One of them did land here to support the Hex Race, but I believe I threw in... Where are my Dragonback Slayers? Are they mixed in here? I think they are. Yeah, they're mixed in this front line here, dealing with the Wolf Riders, those Var guys, and the Orc Boy Biggins. These Great Swords are dealing with them as well, and the Knights of the Blazing Sun did take kind of a beating. The Var guys are going to be sent down here now that the Fellbats are dead, but they also have taken a lot of damage already. The second group is being sent over here, and I'm sending my Dragonback Slayers to assist Surreal's crossbows. Meanwhile, in the air, the Terror guys are trying to bring down the General of the Empire, but it just cannot puncture the defense of the General. I don't know, he may have popped his potion already too. I don't think he did though. But yeah, the Empire Captain and the General of the Empire are going to just take out this Terror guys for the most part. The Var guys are not safe on the ground because the Tattersouls are here responding to this group. My Dragonback Slayers are responding to this group and tearing them down piece by piece. And you can see the Terror guys is now going to run away from the General of the Empire because he has been outclassed. The Var guys, even though they had a lot of numbers here, because of the amount of crossbow fire getting into them, the Sterling's Revenge that were here that are now shooting against the Broken Tusk Mob being chased away by the Great Swords. And then, of course, you see the Knights of the Sun are dealing with all three of the Wolf Rider groups over here. This is not what you should do with Wolf Riders. Wolf Riders are meant to be kind of spread out and hit different targets, create openings, and then go for the kill against the weaker units. So this is really good for our side. One group against all these three is going to be taking them out. Again, the Var guys are up here flying alone now, and they're just going to be slowly picked off for what remains of them. The Broken Tusk Mob cannot get away far enough from the crossbowmen, and this Great Sword is still chasing them around the map. The Hex Race did pull away from the fight, and they're going to try and do a rear charge here, but they are being followed by the Knights of the Blazing Sun, along with the second group of Great Swords that I showed you earlier. The flying units... Where are the flying units? I think they're way over here. Actually, I lost track of them. Where the hell are these guys? Oh, there we go. They were over here. Okay, jeez. Could not find him. So it looks like they actually managed to chase off the Night Goblin War Boss after they broke Belegar Ironhammer, so that is good on them. The Empire Captain is coming back to finish off these Var guys, and that's going to be a very easy job for him. The Spearmen here are not going to have much of a good chance against the Graveguard, and you can see this is when they are going to start charging. I'm going to be throwing in my Dragonback Slayers to cut them off from the Crossbowmen. Dragonback Slayers are pretty good. Not ideal against Graveguard, but it's all I had back there to help the crossbows. The Broken Tusk Mob, I believe, was chased off. Yeah, you can see they are routing because they like initially were either routed or just pulled back by the player, and the crossbows finished them off and forced them into an actual rout. You can see the silver bullets coming back. They took a lot of damage from, I think, the Fellbats and the Var guys. But they are now coming back to the battle. The Great Swords chasing off the Night Gobos, and I believe this Great Sword unit gets pulled back. And over here, just as we're about to be finished off with the Graveguard, that's when the Black Orcs are coming in, and our Dragonback Slayers are going to continue the fight there. The General of the Empire and the Empire Captain are going to route the Arachnoid Queen and are dealing with this Goblin Big Boss who now has no leadership nearby. A lot of his forces are dead, so he's going to be breaking rather easily against the General of the Empire. You see the captain's going to continue to chase her off. The Night God War boss, I think, is already shattered at this point. Belegar is coming back in, and now it's mostly just the vampire account player and a couple black orcs, one of which is over here dealing with the remnants of one greatsword group, the Knights of the Blazing Sun and the Spearmen. This is a fight that currently the vampire accounts and the black orcs are going to win without support. We do have a Bright Wizard nearby, and I think he did cast a couple more fireballs throughout this fight, but you can see he has taken a lot of damage. I'm not entirely sure from what, to be honest, though. Back here, the rusty arrows are going to come back from rounding, and they are going to apply more pressure, I think, to the greatswords or to the crossbows. I can't remember. This group of black orcs is going to get pelted to death by the Sterling's Revenge and all the crossbows. My rangers are now free, along with my Dragonback Slayers. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember what they do with them quite yet. But over here, the remnants of the Empire's forces are going to run away, which means the only thing over here now is going to be the General of the Empire and the Tattersouls, which will not break until the very end. What is this? I think this is a Rune of Wrath and Ruin. Yeah. That was the Rune of Wrath and Ruin I dropped on the Graveguard, and they are now... They can't route, so I think they must have been given a move order to come over here and assist Vlad von Karstein. You can see Surreal's generals in the mix, taking a lot of damage. I think at this point he has popped this potion, because you can see the little line there denoting he only has that much health he could regenerate at this point. Empire Captain is done with chasing the Ragnarok Queen off, so they are going to be coming back. You can see I am piling in, throwing the Iron Brew, and Belegar's coming back to deal with the Graveguard that were trying to run away, but we said, nope, you're not going to run away. Gon Big Boss came back, and so these Knights of the Blazing Sun are going to try and deal with it. I believe it comes back again. Either that or never routes in the first place. I guess not. So these guys are going to pull out, and I think I send my Peak Gate Guard eventually to deal with this Goblin War boss at some point. Back here, the Rusty Arrows did come back from routing. I have my Dragonback Slayers nearby, so I'm going to charge them and reroute them off the field. Basically, my Dragonback Slayers has just been on guard Surreal's ranged detail. That's what they've been doing this whole game. Meanwhile, back at the blob of Vlad von Karstein, these Black Orcs are not moving, so it's giving the magic bullets over here a lot of time, servo bullets, sorry, to fire into them and just weaken their numbers. Vlad's forces here are slowly crumbling as they are succumbing to the leadership penalties due to the amount of forces that they have lost combined in this battle. We see Belegar is now back in the action, kinda. He's close by. He does have buffs that he can drop. That's why I wanted to keep nearby our troops. Black Orcs are now going to be microed back into the battle against the Tattersouls. They are being chased by the Greatswords and the Spearmen. General of the Empire did pull back away from the combat because he was taking a lot of damage. Gon Big Boss is going to come back from routing, and I'm going to send my 4 Peak Gate Guard to go deal with them, as the rest of what remains of my core is going to go and help us against Vlad von Karstein, the few remaining Great Guards, and the Black Orcs. I don't think there's anything less, alive back here anymore. Yeah, not really. So we have our Knights of the Blazing Sun, my Dragonback Slayers are coming back, crossbows are now coming back. So our main focus is going to be against Vlad von Karstein, and at this point we kind of have the numbers. I'm not, at this point I don't think we're going to lose, because there's only a couple Graveguard left. Vlad is annoying, but he is possible to be dealt with either by morale or just by killing him with all of our sheer amount of forces. And then over here, this Gon Big Boss kills 3 of the 4 Peak Gate Guard. This battle is more important than what's going on over there. We went over there, by the way. But there's just this duel that's going to happen. And that's right, the Peak Gate Guard says no. He says, no, sir.
Move!
And that single Peak Gate Guard is now going to come over here and try and join our forces. Vlad von Karstein is crumbling to death because he has no army left. They're going to get another charge from the General of the Empire. And that is going to do it for our 2 enemies there. I just want to show that single duel that was going off. My Peak Gate Guard got promoted to a Thane probably after this battle. But good game to our enemies, or to our opponents, I should say. And good game to Surreal. Kill counts. Throwing the Iron Brew is a beast if you don't shut him down with magic, so that's why he has that many kills. King Lund Ironhammer kind of got crushed, and I don't remember from what. I honestly don't remember what crushed him, but he is dead. Miners did a pretty good job at holding off the initial impact of the Grave Guard. Dwarf Warriors did their job. Crumbling Guard, 113 kills, 187 for the Dragon Back Slayers. They're just a beast. The Iron Breakers did really well. PK Guard, even though they were in the front of the line and took so much damage before the battle even started, they lived with 1 model. Rangers, great weapons. Can't say enough about good things about these guys. They're just a brutal combination when you bring 2 of them. They focus fire down things so quickly. For Surreal, 64 kills on his General of the Empire, 23 on the Bright Wizard is pretty good. Empire Captain did good as well. Sigmar Sons held the line until literally the very end. The Tattersouls, same thing, 90 kills for them. Great Swords did pretty good. Crossbows did pretty good. Sterling's Revenge, 104 kills, really great. Knights of the Sun, 140 kills is amazing. This group didn't do as much, and the Silver Bullets are kind of routed off really by the Var guys, but they still got some damage in. For the Greenskins, main battle line, holy crap, Black Orcs with over 200 kills. The Wolf Riders are kind of mismicroed, so they were shut down by a singular Knights of the Blazing Sun and my Dragonback Slayers. This Arachnarok just had no chance against the Rangers. Doomdiver Catapult did amazing damage against my Peak Gate Guard and other units throughout the battle, so they did really good. And then for the Sin of Hubris, whoo, yep, pretty much a decent amount of kills across the board, including Vlad. He's one of the best heroes that the Vampire counts have, hands down. He's really cool, and these Graveguard did an amazing job. So that is going to do it, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the battle. I will see you all next time. Have a good day.